And now to Egypt, where the capital remains on high alert tonight as the countdown begins for what promises to be the biggest show of people power in the nation's history. Troops and tanks have been deployed around Cairo for the planned March of Millions, aimed at putting pressure on the beleaguered President Hosni Mubarak. The military says it won't fire on the demonstrators, while the government has shut down mobile phone networks and the internet to stem the tide of civil unrest. ABC correspondent Philip Williams is watching events unfold in Cairo, and I spoke to him a short time ago. Phil Williams, that march is due to get underway there shortly. What difference might that make to the situation there?
Well, it's really going to ramp up the pressure because we're expecting a very big march. People have attempted to come to Cairo from all over the country for this march. They're already gathering, they're streaming in behind me as we speak into the square. And that is going to just ramp up the pressure, ramp up the atmosphere, and Hosni Mubarak will find it very, very difficult to resist after today, because it's been very clear the signals from both the armed forces and these protesters are that they're not going to intervene, they're not going to give up. Something has to give, and as far as these protesters are concerned, that give will have to come from Hosni Mubarak.
Has there been any sign of any statements or any action from him so far today?
Well, a little. He's ordered his vice president to start negotiating with the opposition parties about political reform, about judicial reform. The reaction of the people in the streets to that is too little, too late, we don't believe you, we've heard it all before, and we demand that you leave, and we're going to be satisfied with nothing less than that. So, no, certainly those sort of last-minute moves, the new cabinet, reshuffling the deck, they describe it here, it's not working. And as far as these people are concerned, they're not listening to him anymore. He's history in their minds. They just want him out now.
There's been a lot of discussion, Phil, about who's driving the protests and the action in the streets, and talk about one particular group, the Muslim Brotherhood, and concern about their role. What have you learnt about that group?
Well, that group has played a very long, it has a long historical role in this country. They have been painted as the villains in the piece by Hosni Mubarak. His threat is, if you get rid of me, you'll get the Brotherhood, you'll get a hardline Islamic State, and the Americans particularly have been very concerned about that. However, when you talk to people in the streets, they say, well, they're just one factor in Egyptian society, in Egyptian politics. And even though they've been banned, and of course they're not liked by some people in the society, they're not the bogeymen that they're painted to be. Now, with these demonstrations, people have felt the freedom to come out and actually identify themselves as Muslim Brotherhood. In fact, I spoke to one of them in the square a short time ago who described, whether there was a risk or not to them coming into power and how the West should view them. Tell me, you're a member of the Muslim Brotherhood.
I'm proud of that.
But you've heard Hosni Mubarak, you've heard leaders in Western countries say, we're worried about the Muslim Brotherhood taking over the country.
No, Muslim Brotherhood cannot take over the state. Yeah. It will be government represent all the people, not only the Muslim Brotherhood. So don't hear about this, because if this man don't like the Muslim Brotherhood, they will not take over the government. If this man don't want, they will not take it.
Are you excited at this moment? I mean, are you excited about this?
Definitely, because this is the first time for me to stand in front of all the people. I'm saying that I'm from the Muslim Brotherhood.
What would have happened if you said that publicly a week ago?
A week ago, I will be, I don't know where, maybe in the hell, I don't know.
You'd be in serious trouble?
Yes, of course, definitely.
Aren't you afraid now? Here you are on television, you're saying who you are.
No, definitely.
So this is a very liberating time for you?
Yes, and for everyone here.
Aren't you worried that if this fails, if you do not succeed in changing the government,
I'm telling you something. I'm telling you something. If this movement fails, everyone in Egypt will be in a very, very big trouble. And all of us understand this very well. And accordingly, we're telling everyone, telling each us, we have to fight till the end. till the success.
What will the end be?
This one-way road.
We have no plan B.
This one-way road.
Phil, today could be the day that it all happens there. Are you sensing a different mood amongst the crowd to perhaps what there was yesterday?
Yes, there is. I think because there is a sense of momentum on their side, particularly with the army coming out and saying we won't fire on our own citizens, that they feel that victory is within grasp. So it's far more upbeat, it's far more celebratory, less of the anger that we saw in those early days, and far more a sense of history about to happen. But of course, it does still come down to Hosni Mubarak. He can still hang on, and we simply don't know what's in his mind, and we don't know how the end of this day is going to play out. But we do know it's going to be a very, very intense, very interesting day ahead.
As you say, the role of the army is critical here. What are you seeing? How is that playing out on the streets, the connection between the army and the people?
Well, it's very much a benign relationship. I mean, the people are very supportive of the army now supportive of the people. There have been a few scuffles here and there, little outbreaks of misunderstandings, but when you go into the square, you'll see men lined up, holding hands, creating a cordon of protection around the troops. And when there was some firing, actually, yesterday, it was a misunderstanding and people got angry with the troops, quickly people moved in to protect them and formed a cordon. They see the troops as on their side. They hate the police. The police are absolutely detested, but they see the army here as Egyptian, as supporting them and ultimately supporting the people.
Phil, do you think the people believe that once Hosni Mubarak is gone, their problems will be over, or is there a sense that the issues are far more complex than that and that this is potentially a long haul?
That's a very good question because, of course, removing Hosni Mubarak may turn out to be the easy bit. The economic problems, the political problems, social problems, all of those have to be tackled. And people here acknowledge that this is just the beginning and that after that euphoria, the real hard work begins. But there is a sense of, well, at least we'll have a chance. At least it will be within our hands to be able to do this, that we'll have real democracy and a real sense of ownership of the direction of this country. And yes, Hosni Mubarak's removal would be the start, but of course it's a very, very long road after that.
And finally, Phil, the people that you're seeing are heading out to start that march today. All ages, all different kinds of groups, everything you can imagine?
Absolutely, from all walks of life, all stratas of society, families, young children, old men, old women, you name it, they're there, all determined. And all really, it's been organised virtually almost by itself. It's almost an organic organisation. There's no clear leadership here, but word has spread, even though the internet's been shut down for days. The phone systems are still working, so word has got around, and I'm quite confident the march today will be very large indeed.
Phil Williams, thanks for that update.
Thank you.